How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kaz, and today is a great day because you are going to be taking a massive step in your game hacking journey by creating an internal Csgo interface manager. Now, why in the world would you even want to capture Csgo's interfaces? Getting the interface pointers that Csgo uses will allow us to call and hook almost any of the game's functions with our eyes closed. It is so easy. If that doesn't sound insane to you, then consider this. Imagine you could get every entity pointer in the player list with a single function that will never change. It is literally as simple as calling a function. But first, we need to talk about what exactly an interface is. Interfaces, also known as abstract classes, are essentially a class that contains no member variables and only has pure virtual functions. Interfaces are a developer's way of letting other developers know what to implement when using an SDK. The important part of all of this is the pure virtual functions. When virtual functions are used in a class, they are stored in a special array known as the virtual method table, or VMT for short. Now, thanks to the awesome Source Engine developers, shout out to you guys, all the interface pointers are stored in a list, and if we can get the pointers, we can call or hook almost any of the game's functions, and that is what we're going to be doing today. But before we get into the code, if you'd like to support your boy Kaz over here and get access to all the source code used in my videos, be sure to check out my Patreon down below. Also, I have a Discord server where we shitpost and host giveaways, so come join us over there. And it doesn't hurt to drop a like and subscribe for the scary YouTube algorithm. With all of that out the way, let's get into the code. Alright, so as per usual, we're going to start where all good things start, with a brand new Visual Studio project. I'm using Visual Studio 2022 for those who are wondering, and we're going to go ahead and create a new project. I'm going to make an empty project, and I'm going to go ahead and call it interfaces. And I'm going to save it to my desktop, go ahead and click create. Alright, cool. Now that Visual Studio has opened up, we're going to come to the top here and we're going to switch from debug to release, and we're going to switch from x64 to x86. The reason we do this is because CSGO is a 32-bit game, so we need to make a 32-bit DLL to inject into the game. Now, we need to change some project settings, so let's go ahead and right-click on our project, go to properties, and we need to change the configuration type to dynamic library, and we're going to change our C++ language standard to C++20. Go ahead and apply. Next, we're going to come over here to advanced, and we're going to change the character set to use multi-byte character set. And the last thing we need to do is come over here to linker, go to system, and change the subsystem from console to Windows. Once again, this is because we are creating a Windows application. It's a DLL file. We need to use the Windows subsystem. All right, cool. Now we can go ahead and create our main file. So we're going to add a new source file, and we're going to go ahead and call this main. This is just going to hold our entry point and all of our fun stuff in here. Alright, so the first step to creating any DLL is going to be the entry point. So I'm going to go ahead and make the entry point. And to do that, we need to include the Windows SDK. So let's come to the top here and include windows.h. We're also going to want to print to console a little bit later. So let's go ahead and include IOStream for now so that we can print later. Now, to make a DLL entry point, it looks something like this. It's going to be a bool, WinAPI, DLL main, and it's going to take an H module. We're going to call that instance. Then it's going to take a D word, and we're going to call that reason, and finally it takes an LP void called reserved. Now, if you've never made an internal before, be sure to check out my video on creating your first internal hack. Link will be in the description. I explain everything fully in this video. We're just kind of going to gloss over it. So DLL main returns true, so let's go ahead and do that. For now, we need to do things based on this parameter over here, the reason. So what we're going to do is we're going to say if reason, and the reason we are interested in is going to be DLL process attach. DLL process attach will be the reason when you are injecting a DLL. So this is what we're interested in. And what we're going to do in here is we're actually going to create a thread to run our hack. So to do that, we actually need a function. We're going to go ahead and make a function. I'm going to call it void HackThread, and the HackThread is going to take the same parameter as DLL main over here. It's going to take the instance, and we're just going to leave this empty for now. We just need it here so that we can actually create the thread. So to create the thread, it's going to be const auto thread is going to be equal to create thread. Now, create thread takes a fuck ton of parameters. So the first parameter can be a null pointer. Second one is going to be 0. The third one, we need to reinterpret cast to LP thread start routine, and what we're casting is actually our hack thread. So go ahead and put the address of hack thread in there. The next parameter is going to be the parameter that we pass to our thread. Now, as we can see, our thread takes one parameter, which is HModule instance, and if we look at DLL main, oh, we have an HModule instance, so we're going to go ahead and pass the instance into our thread. Next, we can have 0, and the last parameter can be a null pointer also. Don't forget your semicolons like that. And the last thing we need to do is go ahead and check if thread is valid. So if thread, we're going to close the handle because we are not interested in the handle of the thread. We're not doing anything with it. You can go ahead and free those resources. All right, cool. That wraps up our DLL main and creating our hack thread. Now, as I said, we're going to be printing to console just so that I can show you that this does work. So to do that, we need to actually allocate a console. So we're going to do that like so. We call alloc console. We then need to create a file pointer. We're going to call that file. And then we need to call free open _s. We pass in the address of the file pointer. The file name is going to be con out and then $. We are opening it in mode W for writing, and std out is the last parameter. Now we're going to go ahead and create a panic key so that we can unload the DLL. We do that like so, while !get async key state, and we're going to use vk_end. Of course, you can use absolutely any key you want. Just search up virtual key codes on MSDN. You'll find them. But basically, if you don't press this button, it's going to sit in this while loop. In this while loop, what we're going to do is we're just going to sleep for now, because we don't need it running a billion times per second. But when you do click the button, we're going to need to unload the DLL, free the console, all of that good stuff. So to do that, first of all, we're going to check if a file was valid. So if file was made, we are then going to go ahead and close the file. We're then going to go ahead and call free console to free the console that we made. And the last thing we're going to do is free library and exit thread. We're going to pass in the instance of our DLL, and the exit code can be 0 for exit success. All right, so we haven't done anything fun just yet. We've just allocated a console. We have a while loop for our cheat to sit in, and when you click end, it's going to go ahead and unload our cheat. Now we can get onto the fun stuff. We can get onto making our interface function. This function is going to return the pointer to the interface that you want. Now in CSGO, interfaces have a name. So if we come over here to ICLientEntityList, which is one of the many interfaces, I'm over here in the source SDK. As you can see, it has a name over here, GetInterface. And also the create interface function is exported. It is an exported function in the DLL, which means that we can call it with this function, getProcAddress. Retrieves the address of an exported function. As you can see, getProcAddress requires the handle to a module, and then it requires the name of the function. The name of the function is going to be createInterface, but we need a module handle. So when we make our getInterface function, we're going to need to take the interface name. So that's going to be the name of the interface, which in our case is going to be vClientEntityList. Then it's going to need to take the module that this resides in. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to make a template, type name t, and our function is going to be t-pointer getInterface, and it's going to take a const char pointer name, which is going to be the name of the interface, and then it's going to take const char pointer library. So this is going to be the module of the interface. All right, cool. As I said, we're going to be calling this exported function over here, which is called createInterface. And to get createInterface, we're going to call getProcAddress, but to call getProcAddress, we need the handle to the module. So that's what we're going to do first. We're going to get the module handle. So const auto handle is going to be equal to get module handle, and we are going to pass in the library just like that. Now obviously if this fails, we're going to go ahead and return a null pointer. Cool. Now we need to get the address of the create interface function. So we can do that like so. Const auto, we're going to call it function address is going to be equal to get proc address, and we need to pass in the handle that we just got and the name of the function. As I said, the name of the function is createInterface. Once again, this is in the source 2013 SDK. I'm going to go ahead and copy that and paste it in here. Now, of course, if this fails, we're also going to go ahead and return a null pointer. So return null pointer. Obviously, this is not the best way to be doing this. You should probably like throw errors or something, but just for the sake of simplicity, we're going to do it this way. Now, the last thing we need to do is we need to cast this to the create interface function's definition, right? So in here, we can see this is the prototype of the create interface function. It's a function that returns a void pointer, and it takes two parameters. One is a const char pointer name, and the other is an int pointer return code. So let's go ahead and make our own one. We're going to say using, and we're just going to call it function, is going to be equal to. Now remember, we have a type over here. We have a t pointer. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it return a t pointer. Now for the calling convention, we just put that a star asterisk, I think it's called. And the two parameters that this function is going to take is going to be a const char pointer, and it's going to take an int pointer. And now what we can go ahead and do is we can say const auto create interface is going to be equal to, and now we need to actually cast the address of the function to this function pointer. So we're going to go ahead and cast it, copy function address, and we're going to paste that in here. So once again, what this is going to do is we're going to get the address of create interface, and then we are going to cast the pointer, because this returns a farproc, which is some form of pointer. It's a function pointer. We're going to go ahead and cast that to our function pointer, which is actually the same function. It's the same prototype as what create interface takes. And once that's done, all we need to do is go ahead and return, and we can now call the create interface function because we have its address, and we're going to pass in name, which is going to be our interface name, remember? And then we are going to go ahead and pass in null pointer because we don't need the, over here we don't need the return code. We can just make that null pointer. All right, so that sums up our get interface function. Once again, this is going to go ahead and get the pointer of any interface that you want, as long as you have the version string. Once again, in our case, we're going to be using this version string for the ICLientEntityList interface, and you need a module handle, and we're going to get that by passing in the name of the module that we want. All right, cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a very, very simple entity class. So class CEntity, and it's going to have one method, just once again, because for the sake of simplicity, all this is going to do is it's going to return the health of an entity. So we can do that like so. Const int reference get health is going to be the name of this function. Function is going to be a const no except, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and return reinterpret cast int pointer, so int pointer, and in the front here we want to dereference it. What we're going to cast is std un pointer un ptr underscore t, this pointer, so this is going to be the address of this class, plus the health offset. So to get the health offset, we're going to come over here to haze dumper, and I've already found it, and that's going to be 0x100. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So if you have a pointer to an entity of type CEntity and you call getHealth, it is going to read the health offset and return it to you. Okay, now we actually need to get the interface class, like the definition of the interface. And I've already shown it over here, but the one we're going to be using for an example in this video is going to be ICLientEntityList, once again in the source SDK 2013. We're going to go ahead and copy this class, and we're going to paste it in here. Now, as you can see, we get a couple errors. First of all, we don't have abstract class defined in the source SDK. It's basically just it's a macro for class, so we can just replace that with class. We're creating a class called ICLientEntityList. I obviously stands for interface. Now, client networkable, we don't have a client networkable, so we're going to make that a void pointer. Once again, we can make both of those void pointer, and we also don't have an iClient unknown, but we do have some form of a client entity, so we're going to make that our CEntity class that we made over here. Go ahead and save. Now, the only errors we have left are going to be the C base handle. In the source SDK, if you go and look, it's just an unsigned long, or a D word if you want to call it that. So we're going to go ahead and paste that in there. And there we go. That is our interface in our code complete. Okay, cool. So now what we're going to do is we need to actually go ahead and get the interface. So we can do that like so. Const auto, we're going to call it entity list. And this is going to be equal to get. This is going to be equal to get interface. Now remember, our get interface function takes a template type name. You need to pass in what type you want it to return. And in our case, we wanted to return an ICLientEntityList pointer. So we're going to go ahead and copy that name. We're going to come back and we're going to paste this in. And there we go. Now it needs the name of the interface and the module that it's in. As I said earlier, the name of the interface is vClientEntityList 003. So that's what we're going to be using. And the module that it's in is going to be client.dll, just like that. And don't forget your semicolon. So once again, just to reiterate, we're calling our get interface function. The type that we want it to return is going to be an ICLientEntityList pointer. So if we go ahead and hover over auto here, we can see it's ICLientEntityList. This is going to be a ICLientEntityList pointer. Now the interface that we want is vClientEntityList 003. This can be found by opening up client.dll and searching for the interface names, or you can look in the source SDK. Please keep in mind find that some of them are outdated, so I suggest you go look at like unknown cheats or look at popular open source cheats to find the latest interface names, and the module that exports it is going to be client.dll. And just like that, we are going to go ahead and get our entity list pointer. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is just as a proof of concept to show you how this works, I'm going to make an if statement here. If get async key state, so if I press vk_insert, if I press vk_insert, I want it to do something. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to loop through the entity list. I'm going to show you guys how to do that with the interface. And then I wanted to print the health of all the entities in the game. So we can do that like so. We're going to create a for loop. It's going to start at auto I is going to be equal to 1, while I is smaller than or equal to 64. And we're going to go ahead and increment I. That, oops, little spelling mistake there. Now to actually use this interface, we're going to make a const auto player, and that's going to be equal to entity list. Now remember, this is a pointer to the class, right? So to actually use the methods of the class, we use the arrow operator. And as you can see, we have access to all of these functions here. These are all game functions. We don't have them defined. You see, we have no definition of these functions. These are all equal to 0. We have not defined any of these functions, but you'll see now that we can call them. So once again, arrow operator, and we're going to call getClientEntity, and the entnum that we're going to pass in is going to be the index of our for loop. Now this function over here is going to return a null pointer if there is no entity at the index. So obviously we don't want to be doing anything like this on a null pointer. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that this is valid. So if !player, go ahead and continue. So we're going to go ahead and skip all the empty entity indexes. If it is valid, we're going to go ahead and print out their health. So let's go. std cout. We're going to see out entity, and we're going to print their index like so, and then we're going to say health equals, and we can now print out the player's health like so. Player get health, just like that, and then we can go ahead and end the line. So what this is going to do is when you click insert, it's going to run this for loop, which is going to loop through the player list by calling entity getClientEntity. GetClientEntity is this function over here in the ICLientEntityList interface that we got like so. And what it's going to do is it's going to print out entity, the index of the entity, health is equal to, and then the health of the player. Actually, I should change this to player. The reason we're using player is because basically index 1 to 64 is only reserved for players in CSGO. So if you're only looping between 1 and 64, it'll always be a player. It won't be a weapon or anything like that. And with all of that, we should be done. So let's go ahead and build and hop in game and test. Alright, so in a bot match over here, we go over here to my release folder, and I already have Xenos open. That's what we're going to use to inject our DLL. If we go ahead and click inject, we see a console pop up, and if I click the insert key, as we can see, we actually looped through all the players. If I go ahead and damage one of, oh my god, aim, dude. If I damage a couple of them, and I click insert again, and we look, 67, 97, etc. And just like that. And if we click end, it unloads. Alright, cool. That just about wraps up a very simple introduction to capturing CSGO interfaces. You can use this function to capture any interface. Once again, as I suggested, go onto GitHub, look at any big CSGO cheat, and you can capture the interfaces with the correct names. Remember, if you want the source code to this video and all my other videos, be sure to check out my Patreon down below. And a massive shout out to my current Patreon supporters. I absolutely love you guys. You get feed pics. And I'll check you guys in the next video. Cheers and peace out.